so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you for joining wherever you are joining us from. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Please kindly share the broadcast as you join. Share the broadcast on your platform. Share the broadcast to family and friends. Share the broadcast to anybody that is close to you. Share it so that people can join us and hear our voice as we speak. As you speak, you know that in this struggle, I have said it time and time again that every one of us have a responsibility in this very struggle to make sure that we achieve our aim. There's a role you have to play, there's a role I have to play. Each and every one of us has something to do, no matter how rich, how poor, how small, how big you are, either male or female. Every one of us have a role to play in this struggle to make sure that the actualization and restoration of Biafra in 2023 becomes a reality. As you can see on the topic that I chose there, I decided to talk about the unity of the Biafran people. United we stand. The importance of collective effort. United we stand. We have to discuss about unity. It is very, very important that we have to unite. And I have always said it that when we are talking about this unity, it is not about likeness. You must find a common ground that will make you to unite together. And for us that are Biafrans, everyone that is a Biafran, we have a common interest that we have to look upon to unite and speak in one voice. We have a common interest that every one of us have looked upon and speak in one voice. That is why the unity I'm speaking about is very important. It doesn't matter the hatred you have in your brother. It doesn't matter the misunderstanding you have in your brother. It doesn't matter the argument you have with your brother. You must have to find a common ground where you will agree with your brother. There is a common ground where every one of us have to unite together. And one of those common ground that can unite every one of us today, one of the common ground that can unite every single one of us is our freedom. The freedom of the Biafran people. That is the major ground that will unite every one of us. Both the politicians, both the saboteurs, both those who talk about one Nigerian, whatever you are, whatever you call yourself, there is one thing that will unite us together. Freedom. Kim Maria, thank you so much for joining, Kim. Freedom, that is one common interest that we have that must unite. It doesn't matter how angry you are. It doesn't matter the kind of misunderstanding you have with your brother, your sister, your neighbor. You must always look at that common ground where every one of us meet, which is freedom. First of all, look at one of the common ground again that unite us together. Every one of us today in IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. The indigenous people of Biafra. One of the ground that unites every one of us today is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a strong symbol that unites every member of IPOB. And I want to tell you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is one. He is not divided. IPOB is one. Is not divided. You can decide to give meanings to whatever you want to call yourself or whatever you want to give to yourself. There might be differences and misunderstandings, but I tell you,
IPOB that was established by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains one and only one. He didn't establish two. And what makes you part of that IPOB today is when you answer sincerely the question of what you are doing today, if it represents Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or not. If you can ask yourself that question genuinely in your heart and answer it sincerely, ask yourself, what I am doing today, does it represent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or not? If what you are doing represents Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are good to go. Go ahead. You are in line and you have no reason to quarrel with your brother. But if what you are doing is not in line with the agenda of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you have already made yourself, you have already taken yourself out of the IPOB. You don't need to be told, you don't need to be reminded. Nobody needs to come and say he sacked you or didn't sack you. You have already sacked yourself. The only thing today that makes you a legitimate member, that makes you a true Biafran, is that sincerity of heart, sincerity of purpose, pursuing that agenda which every one of us is looking up to. Unity of purpose. Every single Biafran today, if you listen to them closely, you will see they are crying for freedom. They are always crying for their rights. They are crying for equality. This is the common demand of every Biafran, regardless the group you belong. If you like, be a politician. If you like, be a one Nigerianist. If you like, be part of the Department of Saboteur. If you like, be whatever you call yourself. One common ground that puts us together, every Biafran, is what? Freedom. We want to be free. When it comes to the side of our enemy, they treat us the same. The same way they treat the politicians who feel that they know everything is the way they are treating the ordinary people in the autopolitical IPOB. Is the way they are treating the Department of Saboteur. In the same way they are treating those who call themselves one Nigeria. The same treatment is what is given to every single one of us that is called a Biafran. It doesn't matter if you adopt another name. It doesn't matter if you call yourself another name. It doesn't matter if out of fear, just to please your enemy, you decide to change your name and you decide not to answer that name. They will treat you the same way they treat me, is the same way they will treat you. The treatment I get is the same treatment you will get. It's just a matter of time. The difference is when the time reaches, or maybe you have not gotten to that point when they are going to show you the card. If you have not gotten to the point where they will look at your face and tell you that you are not part of us, you are a Biafran, you'll be thinking that somehow, oh, you are lost. You are a Nigerian. One for Monday, thank you for joining. Simply because you have not gotten to that point where they will look at your face and point at you and deny you something that you know that belongs to you. Look at your face and deny you something and tell you that, and you will see that why you were denied is because you are from a certain region of that country. Until that happens to you, you will continue to pretend as if, oh, you're not part of it. Oh, I'm not part of the Biafra. I don't talk about Biafra. I'm not part of the Biafra issue. I don't want to speak about it. This one, Biafra self, is causing more problem. I want Nigeria to work. I want Nigeria to work. You are only talking that rubbish simply because your own case has not been opened. Simply because you have not gotten to that point where they will look at your face and tell you whom you are. It is high time every single one of us begin to look inward. It is high time we begin to look inward. We are facing one single challenge, every one of us. And it's high time we begin to see ourselves, begin to look at that common interest that we have, that common challenge. It is one challenge. The problem we have is one, not two. The problem we have in the contraption is one, not two. So, if you are trying to deviate from that problem, you want to give it a different name to suit your argument. You want to deviate from the real thing to suit your argument, you change the name. I am sorry for you. It will get your tongue. And when yours will happen, it won't see where to cry. The dehumanization of the Biafran people is happening to everybody. They don't want you. They don't want me. They don't respect me. They don't respect you. They want you wiped out. They don't want you to be part of anything they are doing. Each time they see you, they feel like doing something extraordinary against you. This is a reality. The only reason why some Biafrans continue to pretend is that it has not gotten to their turn yet. But as long as you do not stand up and walk away from this zoological republic, it will definitely get your turn. Today, go to the media. You see the politicians where they are crying. Look at the politicians. These are the politicians that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have warned time and time again that if you serve these people, you will come back in shame if they don't take your life. That anytime a Biafran walk away to serve these people, sell his own people out, sell the interest of his people in order to serve the caliphate, you will return back in shame if they don't take your life. Today it is happening. It is happening. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shouted a long time ago, these people don't want us to be part of them. Let us go our separate ways. You talked of restructuring. He said, go and get it for me. If you can get it, we'll look at it. If it works, we'll move along with it. Instead of you getting restructuring, you came after him to take his life. Today you see them crying. You see them today crying. Today, every single one of them that have been pretending, Igbo presidency, Igbo this, they are going to give you that. All those false promises that were made to them. Both the ones that were promised vice president, they were promised senate president. Today, they have been stripped of every single thing they were promised. They didn't get even half of it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. These are the people who call themselves politicians. And for a very long time, I've been asking, in that contraption called Nigeria, can you point out one political godfather you can talk about? A political godfather in Biafra land? There is none. But if you go to North, there are many of them. People who are political godfathers. And when you want to seek for any position, you go to them to seek for consent. You pay homage to them. Even in the Southwest, you have political godfathers. When you want to look for a position, you go and seek their consent. You pay homage to them. In Biafra land, is there any single political godfather? There's none. There is none. All we have are a bunch of slaves. Group of people who doesn't know that they are freeborn. People who are freeborn, who have accepted slavery as a lifestyle. That is what we have. People who are pleased from eating from the crumb that fall from their master's table. These are the group we have in Biafra land. And even when our supreme leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went ahead to give them a name, make them have prestige, they sold him out. They sold him out. They made moves to take his life. Today, what is happening? Today, your Igbo presidency dream, who told you you are wasting your time, it's gone. Your vice presidential chance is gone. The Senate president is gone. And today, you see them lamenting on media. Somebody like Andy Uba, whatever I call him, you see him lamenting and shouting, and you think he has repented. Unrepentant souls. People who care about their stomach alone. You call yourself representative, lawmaker, yet you don't represent your region. Every other region represent themselves. They represent their people. They fight for their people. They do things for their people. But you that is from Biafra land, What do you have to offer to your people? They have made you to believe that the only way for you to be relevant is for you to lick their shoe. And you accepted it jejely. What a shame. They made you to believe that the only way for you to be relevant is to accept to lick their shoes. And they are doing it. What a shame. It's so sad and disappointing. But what are we going to do? Those of us who are genuine Biafrans, we have seen it for a very long time. All thanks to our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who educated all of us and woke us up. We were awake and we were watching. We knew that nothing will come out of all these their shenanigans. In the Zoological Republic, each time they want to cement their fraud, their fraudulent one Nigeria, they will always do it at the expense of the Biafran people. Either they spill our blood or they do one thing against us. That is how they cement their one Nigeria. Even when they know that the Nigeria have expired, they know that we're gotten to the finishing point. And now what did they do? They went all the way to London to recruit the London boy, to use the London boy to convince you to come and vote. After they must have cooked all their plans. These same people who are crying today of position, these same people today who have been relegated to the background, they were the people who gathered together, sponsored the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and the extra rendition. They sponsored it. One of them used his own private jet to bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu down to Nigeria. They sponsored the extraordinary rendition. Look at today, they are crying. Everything they did to please their paymaster for their own selfish interest, not for the interest of the Biafran people. What is the result today? What is the result? Our Prime Minister of Biafra Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa, came on board. And he was telling us, when the London boy came on board, he told us, this is a ploy to lure Biafran people into legitimizing this evil. It was a ploy to lure Biafrans into legitimizing the zoo. Our Prime Minister told us we should not participate in anything that had to do. We should not legitimize this evil anymore. Everybody should stay away from it and watch what will happen. As usual, good number of people decided to come in and do the same thing they have been doing all the time. They refused to listen. They said maybe it's going to work this time. Let's try it. Maybe it's going to work. Please share the broadcast as you join. Share the broadcast. Every one of us here, share to one person, share to one WhatsApp group that you belong as you are joining. Because it is very important that we speak. Today, as you know, is the second day of lockdown in Biafra land. The civil disobedience of the Biafran people. So as I was saying, they did all that to take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out of the picture for their so-called evil agenda of presidency. Our Prime Minister told them it is not going to be possible. He told Biafran people, stay away from this, do not participate, don't legitimize this evil. It is going to deepen us more into problem. They called it a bluff. Some people, because of their envy and jealousy, preached against that very message. Some people, because of their own personal grudges against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, preached against that very call. But that call was a genuine and sincere call. In as much as many people went different ways, some who didn't get the information came out for the voting. But yet, the referendum of that vote was very clear that the Biafrans were not ready to be part of it. But even as it happened, they did their election. And after that, what was the result? When they were telling them to go and get their PVC, we told them, PVC does not decide who rules you. Our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have said it long time ago. The only way Nigeria decides its leaders is by choosing. They choose either through the court or by INEC. INEC and the court decide who becomes the president, not your PVC. And nobody listened to us. They said they would try it. But Biafran people, the Biafran agitators, IPOB, we know what we want. More especially the autopiloted IPOB, we know what we want. We remain consistently on the message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That mantle that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave us, that legacy, we stood on it. Unshaken. We didn't move left, we didn't move right. We continue to pursue our freedom, which is our focus. And since then, I can bet you we have made a lot of progress. All this happened. All the betrayal they did against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, all the atrocity they committed against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, against Biafran people, against IPOB, every attack and challenges against the genuine agitators, including our Prime Minister Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, all was because of their selfish interests. They went to the extent of issuing a warrant on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Prime Minister. They issue a bounty on their own brother, their own son, who is fighting for their own freedom. That is how bad it was. These people were so desperate, so desperate, that they issued a bounty on the head of an innocent person, their own brother. They called for his head because they wanted to have a presidency, because they wanted to have vice president, because they wanted to have Senate president. Today, what happened? You succeeded in kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you have succeeded in eliminating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and at the end of the day, nothing, you didn't achieve anything, what will now be your fate? Assuming you succeeded in taking out Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what would have been your fate today? Every one of us today, including the blind and the deaf, they know that the face of Biafra today that we are seeing is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I don't care what you think. I don't care how you feel about it. You can hate him, you can love him. It is not compulsory you must love him. Take it from me. It is not compulsory you must love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But I'm telling you, your love and your hate doesn't change anything. As it stands today in this struggle, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the face of the struggle today. It is because of him that we are still talking about Biafra. It is because of him that we are still have the courage to fight and make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu joins us as soon as possible. My fellow Biafrans, united we stand, but divided, it's going to be difficult. I want you to always look at something that unites us. That is where my message is going. Every Biafran, it doesn't matter what you think you are getting from the zoo. It doesn't matter the business you think you are doing in the zoo that is giving you money. It doesn't matter how important you think that they take you. It doesn't matter the privilege you think they give you. It doesn't matter how many security the zoo give you. Let me tell you, they will always treat you the same way they treated your brother. The same hand that they used to treat, the same brush you used to brush that your brother, is the same way they will treat you. Nothing different. Look at the London boy today. London boy is so scared that he cannot even make a statement anymore. He's so scared that he cannot stand up and speak the way he's supposed to speak. He has to watch his word left and right and center before he opens his mouth to speak. Because once he makes any statement, they take him to jail. The London boy would have been in jail for now. He would have been in jail for now if not that he shut his mouth and refused to protest. But if the London boy were to be somebody from the southwest or a Fulani man, Nigeria will have a heavy protest that cannot be able to handle. Remember the late Muhammad Buhari? Late Muhammad Buhari, when he lost an election that he didn't even win, he contested and he lost. What did he do? He organized a protest that took the life of many people in the north. He did. Nobody arrested him. This same late Muhammad Buhari, when he lost the election, he called for a protest that took the life of youth corpers. It's still on record. Nobody arrested him. But you that feel that you have won an election, You don't even have the courage to come out and speak boldly. You are going from one person to the other begging. You are still begging. Begging.